You guys, we have got to talk about the Ace family. It's definitely been a while, but Catherine is releasing a book, and apparently the first 3 chapters were released online for a short period of time. People screenshotted a ton of it, and she is exposing Austin for cheating on her. It is a whole big deal, as people have been like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that this is like confirmed by one of them. And so we are going to get into what is apparently in this book, the screenshots that have come out, because honestly, I did not think that this was going to be anything she was ever going to address. So it looks like Catherine is entering her author era, and the internet is absolutely losing it right now, as people feel like she might be airing out all of Austin McBroom's dirty laundry, the cheating rumors, lies, relationship drama. It's giving, I've been silent for too long, and now I've got this book deal energy. First things first, Catherine announced on Mother's Day that she has a book coming out. Well, actually 2 books, because it's a 2-part book. The book is titled Dolores, My Journey Home, Finding Myself Beyond the Ace Family, and I saw some people in the comments wondering why it was called Dolores. That's actually her government name, like her real legal name. So that's why the title is that. She posted on Instagram in the caption of this, sharing, "Happy Mother's Day. Today, I'm taking a leap of bravery and sharing something deeply personal with all of you. Writing this book was the most vulnerable thing I've ever done, but also one of the most rewarding. It took courage to pour my story into these pages, but I did it because I believe in the power of honesty, connection, and resilience. I hope this book inspires you as much as writing it has transformed me. I can't wait for you to read it and experience this journey with me. I'm thrilled to announce that my book is now available for pre-order, link in the bio, ebook, audiobook, paperback. And guess what? I recorded my own voice for the audio version. It's me, every laugh, every tear, every pause to catch my breath. It was such an emotional roller coaster, but also so much fun. I hope it feels like I'm right there with you, sharing my heart 1 chapter at a time. Your support means everything to me, and I couldn't have done this without you. I love you guys. I've been waiting for this moment for so long." And on her story, she shared about this book. She had the perfect life until she chose a braver one. Catherine Paiz grew up far from the spotlight in the vibrant multicultural city of Montreal, Canada, where her dreams began. When her path led her to Los Angeles, she built a life that seemed like a fairy tale, love, children, and a pioneering YouTube career that influenced millions. As part of the Ace family, she became a familiar face around the globe, but behind the scenes, Catherine was carrying heartbreak, facing betrayal, navigating intense public scrutiny, and slowly losing herself. When everything she built began to unravel, she set out on the most important journey of all, alchemizing her pain into strength, transforming her life, and finding her way back to the woman she was always destined to be. This is the true story of a life that looked perfect and the brave heart who stepped beyond the picture to find something real. So the book is fully coming out on July 1st. So we have a little ways to go before this is actually released, but she shared on Snapchat somebody that said, "How soon should we expect part 2 of this book?" And she said, "I'll put it like this, let's just say once most readers are done reading book 1, book 2 will be right around the corner." Now, here's where it gets wild. The book apparently had a sample preview of the first 3 chapters made available online for a little bit, and then it was apparently taken down. There's been some screenshots going around of these supposed 3 chapters, and it has got a lot of people talking because they are like, if this is for real from the book, this is nuts. But people were saying that on Google and on Apple, there was a sample made available, and this was that supposed sample. I mean, I feel like if this is real, like, it's crazy that she's calling out Austin by name, like, straight up for what he did. I mean, good for her if she is, but it's just crazy to think about, like, them trying to co-parent after her writing this and making it public. But, you know, we're just gonna have to see July 1st. At one point in these screenshots that are going around, it seems she was writing about their big event at the Staples Center and how she felt so distant from Austin when they were at their peak, admitting to doing things for videos and feeling like something was off in their relationship, and then later finding out about the cheating. She apparently writes, "Perfectly camera ready, hair, makeup, nails, fitness, skin, through it all. Together, Austin and I were a dynamic duo. The secret sauce that made our YouTube channel so popular. The perfect blend that made it all happen. And yet, strangely, the more I watched my husband work, the more I dismissed my own contributions. As a woman with traditional family values, I put Austin on a pedestal. I made sure he knew he was seen and that his efforts were appreciated. But I didn't know if he saw me. I had been feeling invisible for a while, a contradiction that wasn't lost on me given that millions of people watched my every move online. At the first huge sold-out event we'd organized for Thirst Project, I'd been pregnant. Staying out of the spotlight made sense. But at this second fundraiser for the Painted Turtle, I wasn't pregnant. I felt good, strong, ready. I'd poured myself into this event too. I wanted to be a part of it. And then came the locker room, a space of waiting, of anticipation, a moment that should have been small but wasn't. I turned to Austin, do you want me to walk out with you? A simple question, but beneath it something deeper, a need to be chosen, to be wanted there, beside him as his wife, to be part of it in a way that wasn't just background support, wasn't just behind the scenes, to be the Ace family in more than just appearance. He shrugged and looked away, only if you want to, flat out casual, not yes, not I want you there, just a half-hearted comment as if it didn't matter either way. But it did matter, it mattered to me. I thought, okay, if that's what he wants, I'm going to let him have his moment. I stayed back, I let him step out into the arena alone. She seems to admit I wanted to be there, standing beside him. And later says, but love wasn't supposed to be like that. It didn't feel right. Austin should have wanted me right there next to him from the moment the event started, and I should have wanted myself there too. But instead, he waved to the fans as he turned away from me, more intoxicated by the roar of strangers than the quiet, authentic love standing beside him. I watched him as his eyes kept looking everywhere but at me, and I knew he had drifted. Later, she writes, and just a few months later, everything came crashing down for real. I found out Austin had been cheating on me, not a suspicion, not a rumor, proof. I realized then why he hadn't wanted to walk beside me, why it had been so easy for him not to. He'd already broken his vows. He'd already been gone from me longer than I had known. A close family member of his admitted to me that he'd invited a girl to that very Staples Center event the same night I convinced myself I was being selfless for letting him have his moment. I'd seen her there, pretty, a hanger-on, standing just close enough to feel out of place, yet comfortable enough to belong. I had noticed her in the way you catch something that doesn't quite fit a puzzle piece, jammed into the wrong spot. I'd even wondered who invited her. Now I knew. It all made sense. The way he hadn't wanted me next to him, the shrug, the indifference, the way he treated me that night as if I were a thorn in his side. The distance that had been stretching between us widened like a crack in a foundation too stubborn to crumble all at once. In an instant, it all connected. After that, I turned inward. Inside, I questioned everything about Austin, everything that had come before, every late night editing session, every last minute excuse, every glance at his phone that ended with the screen tilted just out of my view. I discovered there were others, so many girls, so many betrayals. I had never felt more alone. Not just in my relationship, but in my life. I couldn't call my mom. I was too ashamed, too humiliated to say the words out loud. He cheated on me. Saying it would make it real, would turn it into something I couldn't shove down or reshape into something easier to swallow. I couldn't tell my dad or my brother. My brother had just started his own YouTube channel, and I didn't want to pull him into this mess. Didn't want him looking at Austin differently, even though I would never see my husband the same way again. I was also newly pregnant with our third child, so I carried it alone, the weight of it, the ache of it, the thirst for something I didn't have. It all lived inside me. It sat on my chest heavy and unmoving, making it hard to breathe, hard to sleep, hard to think about anything else. I will say her referencing Austin as her husband and talking about them being husband and wife is very interesting, because I think that was also like a huge speculation, is that if they were actually legally married, because it seemed like there were no actual like divorce papers that had come out when they had broken up. But in these screenshots, they're husband and wife. Now, people have been trying to uncover this mystery woman who was at their charity event that Austin had invited, and people feel like it is this woman right here. And people have tried to identify her as someone named Monica Bush and have been flooding this girl's comments with things like, the way you were happily a homewrecker is crazy, karma will get you, it's Austin's fault, but you, Miss Ma'am, knew he had a wife and kids. You got about 3 seconds to start explaining, lovely. Did we all come from Catherine's piece? Now, this girl does have old videos from 2021 where she seems to admit that she was with Austin McBroom at one point in time. It's unclear if she was the girl that went to the charity event, but she certainly was admitting that she had hooked up with Austin.
I'm in trouble, Austin. Does your wife know that you cheat on her every weekend? Does she know that you message every single girl on Instagram trying to get in their...
So I'm sure by the last video, you know exactly who I'm about to talk about. Anyway, so a couple months ago, I get a DM from him on Instagram. Just asking me if he could send me stuff from his clothing brand, and I was like, of course. Like, I knew who he was. Like, I had never talked to a celebrity. Like, I was pretty new to doing like collabs and stuff at the time, so I was like, oh my gosh, he really just messaged me. Like, I was just like stoked. So here was our conversation on Instagram. I mean, it was just typical like collab DM. I did find it a little weird and unnecessary that he needed to text me afterwards. So we text, he asks me if I'm going to be in LA anytime soon, and I'm like, yeah, I can be in LA if it means you personally hand me the package, of course. So I go to LA by myself, and I'm going to have to do part 2, so I get to LA, I'm staying in a hotel completely by myself. We're texting a little bit throughout the day, like, you know, kind of like seeing what I keep asking what the plans are later and like what exactly we're doing, and he kind of just keeps beating around the bush and not being direct and just kind of vague, which really bothers me. I'm like the type to like want to know what we're doing. And so like we were supposed to meet at like 6, and then it got pushed to 7, then 8, and then I texted him at 9 like, okay, what is the deal? Like I was like, why are we meeting so late, you know? Like when he said spot in Malibu, I was like, what does that even mean, spot? Like restaurant, like what, you know? But anyways, he picks me up in the blue Rolls Royce that everyone knows. So I'm like, okay, so it shouldn't be anything fishy. Like he's not trying to be sneaky about it, whatever. And then where do we pull up? To a house in Malibu, and I was like, oh my god.
She says that he was trying to get her to watch Netflix with him, and she thought that this was going to be about business, but she admits like she was dumb, and like she went to, you know, hang out with him another night, and that was a night that they hooked up. She had tried to say like she thought it was about business, and he was like, yeah, like I'm gonna help you out with like brand deals and stuff like that, but they ended up hooking up. She does admit that he tried to open up about a situation with his wife and say that things were not good.
He starts telling me like him and his wife aren't really together, it's just for publicity, blah blah blah, and I'm like believing it. I'm just being naive like as can be, just believing everything he's feeding me. And here's where I'm a little ashamed. We did end up doing the thing, okay? Don't judge me, but I did. So long story short, he's like, now I'm gonna be obsessed, blah blah blah, and he actually ended up paying me like $800 for one of the brands that he said he was gonna like hook me up with like ahead of time, which was really weird to me. So after the fact, I just kept hearing stories from other people that this is like what he does with girls and like all these other things, and I was just like disgusted with myself, disgusted with him. So this is him asking me to hang out again, blah blah blah. I didn't.
So everyone is convinced that this is the girl from the charity event. I mean, I don't know for sure. I feel like she would have done a story time on it if so, because she was already sharing so much online. So it could have been a different girl at the charity event that was also blonde, but there's just so much being said right now since these pages started going around from what people are claiming to be a sample of Catherine's book. But I want to know what you guys think about all of this. Let me know your thoughts. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.